Welcome. This week, you're going to use your math skills to help you understand weather. The first topic we'll be looking at is temperature. In the United States, we use degrees Fahrenheit. This is represented with a capital letter F. Um, a lot of other countries use degrees Celsius. It's not uncommon for you to see a thermometer that lists both Fahrenheit and Celsius. On your assignments, you only need to worry about the degrees Fahrenheit. So let's start by looking at some of the key points when we're using Fahrenheit. So first, let's talk about when water boils. So when water boils in Fahrenheit, that's at 212 degrees. The opposite extreme of that is when water freezes. They wrote it here as the melting point. In other words, when ice changes to water. And that happens at 32 degrees. In between there, we have a couple other key points. So typically, your room in your house is between 68 and 70 degrees, and your body temperature is 98.6. Thinking of those, let's go ahead and let's estimate some values. You likely often see or hear temperatures when you're describing the weather. So think about what our temperature is going to be on a warm summer day here in Minnesota. Okay, first you'll start by thinking, okay, usually it's hotter outside than the temperature of your room. So we're going to know it's below 68 degrees. In Minnesota, it's uncommon for us to hit 100 degrees. It doesn't happen very often. Typically, you might have 1 or 2 days per year. So we're probably going to be below 100. So on a nice summer day here in Minnesota, an average temperature is about 80 degrees. And the degree symbol is a little circle to the right. You could write F for Fahrenheit, but we're measuring all of ours in Fahrenheit, so that's kind of the default. We assume degrees are in Fahrenheit. Now let's look at the temperature of a very cold winter morning, again here in Minnesota. So in the winter, the ice is frozen. So we know it's going to be below 32 degrees. In Minnesota, in the winter, it isn't uncommon for us to go below 0. So we might have different ideas about what very cold means, but for most people, they would probably say that very cold is below 0. Usually in the winter, you can have a couple days that are in the teens below 0, but that's extremely cold. It might be a good estimate to say maybe 5 degrees below 0 is a very cold winter morning. And below 0 is written with a negative sign. So we can say -5 degrees or 5 degrees below 0. We also use temperatures when we're looking at things like baking. So your oven can get considerably hotter than the temperatures that are listed here. Water is definitely going to boil in your oven. When we bake things like cookies, they're usually at a temperature like 350 degrees, but pizzas are often hotter than that. If you get a pizza out of your freezer and kind of check it out, the average temperature for baking a pizza is typically about 425 degrees. Hopefully, this overview will help you come up with good estimates of other temperatures.